we did it.
Yeah.
We sure did it.
And then just check the sound.
I can hear you guys.
Yeah, I will. No, he means like on the social medias.
What? Listen up, world. Listen up, world. Listen up, world.
Africa. See ya.
Love you.
We are live currently right now on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. How does it sound?
Yes, sir. We'll see.
Welcome, everybody, to the Denver Foos Podcast. I'm your host, Benny Frank the King. And my co-host, Abe the President. We're good.
And I'm Abe the President.
We have a very special show for y'all today. We got a special guest in the studio. This podcast is brought to you by DTF Xpress. They're the ones that do all our merch. Make sure you log on to denverfoos.com. Cop your Denver Foos merchandise exclusively powered by DTF Xpress. Call RAFI. Shout out to RAFI, baby. You already know. But without further ado, for Denver Foos Podcast, episode 122.
Coming to you live from River Restaurant, located at 3500 Delgany Street.
We got Ron Taylor, the Fitted Nuggets fan from Beyond Sports. Welcome to the Denver Foos Podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah. I love coming on your all show. This is my favorite show to watch. But thanks for having me, Benny and the President, Benny and Abe, my boys.
Man, we go way back through all this media, social media, sports media. I mean, man, we were brothers on Mile High Sports. Shout out to those guys. They're just down the street now over at number 38.
I've seen them over there. They got a cool setup. I like their design. Shout out all the Mile High Sports guys. Ryan, see Ryan all the time. Shout out Ryan.
Definitely.
Yeah, but we've been friends for a while, man. I was thinking about it on the way over here. I was like, I'm pretty sure I met you guys when I had less than 1,000 followers, I think. Like really early on in my social media career, and we just kind of clicked right away, and from there jumped off, man. I feel like we had that show going like a month later.
We literally kicked it off, met each other. We did the first piece of collaboration content. And then
they did the questionnaire review.
Yeah. I just asked your opinion on a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Nuggets culture.
Yeah, the
Nuggets
jerseys.
Culture. What is Nuggets culture?
The controversy of those black jerseys. You remember that?
Yeah,
the city editions just dropped, and everyone was like, I hate these. I love these. And it's like,
I loved it.
I thought they looked cool. I like that.
I had it on.
It was a good look. You can't go wrong when you can incorporate a black jersey.
Right.
I feel like it's just, especially at games, they don't give you much leg room, so you're spilling stuff. Like, it just helps in the long term for your stuff.
Definitely. So Ron Taylor, the Fitted Nuggets fan. I mean, everybody knows you as the Fitted Nuggets fan, but over the last few years, you've really dove deep into covering the NBA, covering the Big Three, covering, and shit, you're blowing up. And now,
hell yeah.
I almost professionally, I want to refer you to as Ron Taylor, but I know you as the Fitted Nuggets fan from Beyond Sports. How do you want to be addressed?
Yeah, I mean, Ron's fine. You know, we don't have to get too crazy about it. I feel like as we continue down the professional world, the Fitted Nuggets fan is still definitely a part of me, but it's more of like a nickname to me at this point. And it'll still be that way. I'm probably going to keep my profile name that way, but yeah, Ron's fine. Yeah.
Definitely. We've had you on the Denver Foos Podcast a number of times, even on the Denver Foos radio show. We've had you on there. But I don't think we've ever really dove deep kind of into your background as far as how the Fitted Nuggets fan came about. And like you were just kind of talking about, we met each other when you had barely touching 1,000 followers. How many followers do you have now?
Yeah, so collectively I'm at about 50,000 across all my platforms. So huge shout out to all my followers, man. You guys are really awesome. You know, I just love being able to give you content that you enjoy and that you engage with, and then being able to reward you all with some of the other style of my content. We'll get into that later. But when I really first got started out, it's kind of funny. So essentially the Nuggets had just won the championship. I was really connected with the organization at the time because not many people know, but I actually have a pretty heavy business background. So I was a regional manager for Planet Fitness, actually, before that. And we had a big marketing contract with the Nuggets and everything. And so we got invited to all kinds of secret private events that they hold that they don't tell anybody about, kind of thing. And it was really cool because you get to meet all these Nuggets legends. You get to just see all the behind the scenes stuff that you don't normally get to see. So I started really learning a lot about who works there, what they do, who does what, and then just the organization as a whole and how it operates. And I just started to realize, I know a lot more about this than the average person, combined with, I would say, above average NBA knowledge, because I'm a large fan. I follow the sport religiously. And so those two things, and then combined with just like commentating on different posts in my own personal profile, a lot of things I would say under, NBA or ESPN or whatever would get a lot of likes. So I'm like, okay, people seem to agree with my opinion, get thousands of likes. I'm like, that means what I said is true to a certain extent, so I started getting confidence that way to start. And so it kind of all started coming together. I'm like, how do I translate this into something? I've got something here, but I have no background in media. I just have, some experience with speech and debate and public speaking like that, but nothing crazy. And so it all really just kind of came together once when I was like, well, it'd be cool if I made a profile, because I always dress a certain way at games. And people would I'd get so many people at games going like, bro, I really like your outfit. And I'm like, it's kind of weird, but it would happen so many times. I'm like, okay, this is not normal. Like, this is definitely weird. Like, it happened like 4 or 5 times in a game. And I'm like, this is strange. So that combined with everything else, just, all right, I'm going to make a social media page about it and just post about my stuff. Worst case scenario, I do like cool product reviews and get invited to some things, and I originally, actually, my very first goal was to get media credentials. Wow. I don't know why, but that was like my first thing. Was
maybe it was just a calling from God.
Something like that. Yeah. But it was my very first goal. So this year was a really big year for me, being able to jump into that space more professionally. Having that background in Mile High Sports, we didn't actually have the credentials to get to the games. And for the fans out there who don't know that, credentials are really, really hard to get. They do not give them out to everybody, and they're very selective with who they do that with. So I was super blessed to have some connections within the Nuggets organization, and I submitted a request, and they responded okay. And from there we can get into the rest of that story later. But that was just crazy transition from day one to now. But the plan's always been there, from the beginning to now. So it's been a wild few years.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing just to see your growth and just see from less than 1,000 followers to now over 50,000 plus followers, and engaging followers and real people, real stuff, really seeing it organically grow your platform, all of your content, and just seeing it. It's just cool to see. We're always people that like to see others win and succeed, and especially when it's things that people are truly passionate about. Right. And like your basketball knowledge, your passion for the game, your passion for the Nuggets, it really shines through. Yeah. And I think that authenticity is what attracts a lot of people to your content.
Right.
And, that's what makes people stick around,
That's what people respect you for, your real perspective. Like, there's a saying in basketball terms, right? You don't know ball. You know ball.
Ron, Nuggets saying he knows ball. He knows
the highest of honors.
Yeah. No, seriously, you know ball.
I try to know ball. Every day I have the privilege of meeting people who know ball. Yeah. And it changes the definition of that to me.
Well, you're in the higher tier of like people that know ball.
Yeah.
So you're up there. You know more than us.
Yeah, you'll argue with some dudes at a bar and think you got it, and then you get to a media room and you're like, oh, okay.
Well, but one thing about you as well, you're not so stuck on like your passions. Like you'll hear other people's opinions out. You'll look at the facts. You'll look at, you're not going to just go off. Like us, we're some crazy Denver Foos. The Nuggets can't do no wrong.
Emotions.
Yeah. You could separate
like the analytics.
You could separate the emotions, focus on the analytics, come up with facts, and and that's knowing ball for real.
Yeah, I think that's just being able, in my opinion, I think that comes from the speech and debate side that I did. And, we were always taught that if you're going to make a point, you kind of need to prove it. So that's how I take my approach to my basketball takes is if I'm going to say something or think something or feel a certain way, I want to make sure that that is actually the case, because there have definitely been times where I felt a certain way. And shout out to my brother. He always loves to argue with me. So sometimes we'll get into it and I get proven wrong. And, you got to be able to either and accept that. I can't see a fact in front of my face and be like, nah.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Right.
So it's just so important to me and to the people on the internet. Just a huge recommendation. If you're going to have an opinion, just throw some stats in there for me, please. Just please.
Definitely. Let's dig back into the moniker, the Fitted Nuggets fan. Growing up, did you always like gear? How did that kind of come about? I mean, like you said, before you became the Fitted Nuggets fan, you were getting compliments on just your fits over at the games. And so were you always into just kind of like gear and just jerseys and sportswear?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely am. I would say when I was younger, I wouldn't necessarily classify my style as good. When we're growing up, we always dress a little differently. But with Jordan, they were always big into matching stuff. So right. I got really into matching gear early on. And so that kind of just translated as I've grown older, and color coordination has just gotten bigger. And, I like being able to kind of go into suits now and show people hey, this isn't just for the Nuggets. We can do this with anything. So I approach kind of that style with pretty much any way I dress in life. So I don't know. It's just something I've always kind of had an eye for when I was a kid. And, sometimes it's definitely a little too much with the color coordination, but that's just how I like it. And I find it to be a challenge to get those colors to really hit.
You got to coordinate.
Yeah, and it's hard. When you look, especially the process usually is you have the jersey, right? Especially for Nugget stuff. You start with the primary thing of the jersey color, and then you have to find the shoes. The shoes are the second hardest part, because the shoes, as you guys know, especially for Nuggets colors, not a lot of great options. There's really not.
No.
So that can be kind of difficult. 361, shout out 361. They made it a little easier on us because they're helping us out with some Denver colorways. So they've been a great retailer for a lot of the shoes I match now. But yeah, so it's that to me are the two hardest things, the jersey color and the shoes. And then from there, how can you coordinate everything else? So it just comes down to piecing everything together just the right way.
Right.
I think you also have some minority in you, because that's where that comes from.
Yeah. I did watch Steps on My J's back in the day. They were always matching that stuff.
Well, you also have a cheat sheet now. Shout out to one of our partners, Pro Image Sports Colorado.
Yeah,
they make it very easy
100%
to match all your Nuggets stuff.
Well, that's the first place I go to. They're going to have, especially locally, I hate shopping for clothes online. Yeah. So you got to go to Pro Image Sports Colorado, because they're all over the place. They're easy to get to. And they make those hats that literally nobody can get. No. You can't get them. If you go out of the state, you can't get them. If you go to Florida, you can't get them. So you can only get it from their website. You can only get it in a store. And that's what makes it so crazy. And actually, I'm wearing one right now. Nice. This one is a really unique hat. So the hat I'm wearing is actually limited series of just 32 total hats.
What?
So there's only 32 hats, and I designed these hats. Every inch of the hat that you see right here is completely designed by me personally. So I curated this one specifically for you Nuggets fans. So I want to show you guys what it looks like really quick. Shout out to Pro Image Sports, man. They were the ones who made this happen. And we just are bringing a really special, unique product for you guys. So we've got the classic. So this is really cool. So this is the script. A lot of you guys would recognize this script.
Hold on to it for the
let me put it in this frame right here.
Yeah. So that script there on the front is going to represent that Christmas Day type script. This is actually a draft night style that they had, I believe, last year or the year before. Yeah. But it came out to that nice script, because I was really big into the Christmas jerseys growing up, especially in the 2010s when they had the cursive ones. I really, really liked those. And so that comes out to the gold, matching the championship trophy here on the back.
Ooh,
so we got that championship trophy. And then the colors are all in traditional Nuggets colors, more from the original team. But we get that nice shiny gold threading throughout the hat.
Look at the what is this part of the hat?
Yeah,
called?
That's the button top.
Button top.
No, I mean, that sounds right.
It's a good material.
It's a shiny metallic gold color. It's not just a flat yellow. So you get that championship feel from the whole hat, and then show on the bottom as well. So instead of those green hats, we get a nice red, which really will match with a
what
lot
is it?
of
Flat
Nuggets
Iron
gear.
Red. Isn't that the true name of this Flatiron Red?
Exactly.
Like the Flatiron.
So it just pops. I mean, it looks really good. So what's only cool about these hats, so not only are there only 32 of them, they are not going to be for sale.
What?
We are not selling these hats. So
why would you do this to Nuggets Nation?
Because they are going to be gifted to fans individually. So throughout the season, while I'm at games, I'm going to have these hats with me, and they are going to be sequentially signed 1 through 32 for all of the Denver fans who come to find me throughout this season, and to some select others who win giveaways and things like that.
That is amazing.
Be sure to be looking out, guys. We have this super secret, ungettable hat.
That's like
one-of-one series.
I'm going to call Luke and Leon. I'm going to get my own.
That's like the most awesome thing I've ever fucking heard in my life.
That is so cool. So let's talk about that. Because that's something that makes you very unique on your content and the way you give back to Nuggets Nation. And you've been giving back to Nuggets Nation since day one.
Since day one.
Passionate fans.
Tell
us what you do.
So weirdly enough, and I still to this day couldn't tell you how this really started. I remember thinking my giveaways specifically, I was thinking like, Mr. Beast does giveaways, and he usually goes and he was finding, this is early on, he was finding people in stores and asking them if they followed him, and I'm like, that's really annoying. He has to probably go and tap 10 to 20, maybe more, maybe sometimes doesn't even find anybody. So that has to be so obnoxious for him and people. And so to me, it was just kind of an awkward situation that I just wouldn't want to do. I just don't want to be that kind of guy. It's just not in me.
Hey, do you follow me?
Yeah, hey,
bust out your phone.
I know you're doing you're shopping right now, but can you get out your phone and tell me if you follow me? So I respect it. Obviously, it worked really well for him. Just not something I can personally do. I just don't want to do that. So my thought process was, okay, well, what if I reverse that and my followers come find me? If you follow me, I've got something, I have something, come be the first one to find me for the event. So to be at a Nuggets game. And so I made a post in one of our Facebook groups, Nuggets Facebook groups. I got a bunch of followers right away, a couple hundred, but when you're first starting out, it's flooding in and you're like, oh my gosh, this is clearly a cool concept, because I made it just hey, I'm going to be giving away, I think I was giving a jersey away or something. And so many people were super into it. And then the very first game, it's a preseason game. I'm sitting 5 rows from the floor or whatever. And I'm just sitting there with my wife, and some guy just walks down the aisle and sits next to me and just shows me his phone. Before the game even started, he's like, hey, is this you? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. This is definitely something. So some people really like this. Right away, big shout out to him. I was a really key starting point, because, this wasn't going to be something I was willing to pursue 10, 20 games and no one doing it. I probably would have tried something else at that point. So it was really cool, and it kept working. Every single game it was happening, someone was finding me. And I used to do fan interviews. And I'm still kind of doing that. It's shorter form, because it was harder to get people away and miking them up and setting up a stand, and it was a little too much. So I've just kind of short formed it a little bit. Bobby wouldn't hold
the phone.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Bobby wasn't there.
Somebody didn't hit record.
Or they walk away with the microphone. All kinds of fun stuff can happen in those situations. So I kind of went away from that, but that was a fun part of it, just getting to know the individual fan, how long they were a fan, who was their favorite player, what was the big moment, stuff like that. So that was a really cool way to meet a lot of the Nuggets Nation people. So that's how the giveaway stuff started, and I still do that to this day. Now in the forum, when I'm at there, because I'm there for media more often now than not, we're still doing some stuff like that. We'll do some trivia outside of the stadium, typically before the game. So if you guys are looking, and we'll post some stuff about it, but that's how we're going to be shifting to when I'm more there on a credential night.
That's so awesome. Well, freaking congratulations
so
on your collab.
Of course, and you guys can see I've got 2 hats right here. So we haven't given any of these away yet, but I wanted you guys to be the first one.
Stop.
You have to be the first one. So I got it right here. We're going to number them. And you guys are both number 1, because I can't pick. You're both number 1 in my book. So you're both getting number 1.
Okay.
I could be number 2.
He could be 1, and I'm 2.
They'll be searching for mysterious number 32.
Rule number 1.
That'll be the most collectible one.
I was born first.
There you go.
Oh my God! You're making me cry. Dude.
Yeah, well, you guys are my boys. You know, we had you guys helped it start, and just continue to reflect on that.
Yes.
Holy
so
shit!
This is so
Dude,
beautiful.
This is my favorite. So what do they call this? Not the
You
statement
gotta sign it.
jersey.
Oh, I gotta sign it. All right.
Sign it.
All right.
This is the Mile High City. Not the city edition jerseys. What's
Oh, this is the States and Co. So this is I got you. This is a Mile High. This is the Mile High jersey.
what do they call it? Is it Mile
It's like a
High?
city statement
What the fuck is it
jersey,
called?
like a statement jersey. I think is the name.
But this is my favorite. When they wear these
Yeah.
blues, I love. This.
I love that too, and it goes back to that more original color, and it's just such a good color combo. And shout out States Co, man, they make some awesome quality jerseys. I was literally just walking in here, and I'm like, I'm not even hot right now, and it's 90 out, but because it breathes so well, but I'm also not getting burned by the sun, so it's such a good lightweight material.
Well, Ron, thank you so much, bro. This is freaking awesome.
This is so funny.
No, I appreciate you all, man.
This is literally my favorite colorway.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
There we go.
You know what?
We go. We got you covered.
It's so what I want to say, ironic about this right now.
Yeah.
We had a series of questions to ask you.
Okay.
Especially about your hats.
Okay.
And one of the questions was, what is the rarest hat you have?
Yeah.
It's got to be this.
It's got to be that one. Yeah, for sure.
You already answered our question.
For sure, those. I do have. I do have some older ones, but nothing crazy. Like I just refuse to spend.
It has to be. Sorry, Rafi.
Fire though. Those look great.
Well, no. So I have the official jersey, the on court, and it's the Nikola with this.
There you go.
And it's got the trophy.
It's got it on there.
So I bought it the year after they won.
I gotta get one
just to get that little tag.
Yeah. Well, that's what made it so cool, right?
Yeah.
And you got that, bro. That's just such a clean colorway. You get that royal blue with gold and white.
Royal blue is my favorite blue. I mean, I love navy blue.
It's just so rich, though.
Not Dodger blue.
No,
yeah, no.
This is Nuggets blue.
Nuggets blue.
This is Broncos. Yeah. No, so it looks so good.
Yeah.
Well, let's do a little fit check.
Yeah.
While you're here, you're wearing the New Balance Jamal Murrays.
These
right?
are the Jamal Murrays.
Wow,
yeah. These bad boys
sick.
are nice. I really like these, especially for this fit specifically, because it's weird that they don't make blue and red and like gold shoes. They just don't do it. Like Jordan does not do it. And
no, I know.
None of the other companies really have the right style for it. So it's kind of a weird because it's a good color combination. But shout out New Balance because they had this colorway with Jamal Murray and they nailed it.
Yeah. No, man, thank you so much.
No problem. Happy to give it to you guys. You guys got the first one.
Christmas in July.
Now there's 30 more out there. And so we're going to be giving them to fans throughout the season. So be looking out for that. They're going to be sporadic. It's not going to be every single time. So they are amongst the rarest hats that you can possess as a Nuggets fan. Not in circulation.
That's special.
I'm smelling it.
Fresh out the factory from Taiwan.
That is so cool. Man, I'm like shocked.
Yeah. But I mean, going back to like how things got started, one of the big things just for some of the content creators out there, one of the things that I really focused on is early on, it's difficult to make a name for yourself because you don't have the following to give you credit. You don't have association to give you credit. So like, what do you do? How do you get taken seriously? How do you get people to see you for what you're really trying to do rather than just some guy on the internet? Because that's who you are for a while. And you still are that no matter how big you get, but it feels a lot more that way starting out. And so I just tried to get associated with, the local community, like through the Denver Foos and through other people like that, and just meeting content creators and going there and asking them questions and getting to know their process and learning.
Reaching out.
Learning and doing the work is the best thing you can do for yourself. Like learning how to film. I have no idea anything about cameras. I didn't know a single thing about cameras. I know a little bit about technology, but filming and getting the audio and the lighting and like all that was brand new. So, this has just been a crazy process. And so that's all I can say is just dive into it and work really hard. You just gotta know what you want and you gotta go for it. You gotta put in time every day.
Definitely. I mean, you've been putting in the work. We've been seeing it for years. You putting in the work and doing it and being dedicated, and even through the frustrating somewhat seasons of the Nuggets and then things aren't going well.
That's about all we've seen lately.
You know what I mean? we want to kind of talk about Nuggets.
Yeah, let's get into it.
There's a lot going on.
Got a lot to say.
Yeah, at one point in time, we were somewhat literally on the board to get LeBron sweepstakes. I know a lot of Nuggets Nation wasn't feeling that. Myself personally, I didn't really care for it. I honestly, my take on LeBron, I think he should have already retired like 5 years ago, because I think he's taking shine from, say, like other greats like Steph Curry. They're not getting their like flowers.
They're not getting like their last
years, or like the KDs. Like, this is straight non-biased Nuggets. This is just basketball. But I do respect his consistency to be able to sustain and have a career this long. So I could, this is me rebooting myself and taking the Nuggets fan out of myself. So I could see that, but I also see him as a detriment to a lot of like Steph Curry's, the KDs, like those guys, so that they don't get like their true shine in their last years. Like, some of these guys are probably, how many guys have retired, like have came and gone since LeBron's been there, and they didn't really get their true like flowers and their send off or their farewells.
Sure. Yeah.
You know.
Okay, real quick before you answer that question, let me ask this question.
Okay.
If he did come to the Nuggets, would you have gotten a jersey?
I mean, I don't know, probably not. I mean, if I would have been given one, yeah. You know, if I would have gotten one for free, I would have saved it. You know, but I'm definitely not putting money down on one.
I think I would have.
It is definitely an iconic moment in time.
That's all.
It's an iconic moment in time if it were to happen. But no, I don't think I could bring myself to spend physical dollars on that, because it does betray just NBA fandom principles for me. Like, we were talking about it before the show, but just the ideology of like the additional attention that comes with LeBron, which obviously will benefit what I do. And then the double-sided sword, essentially, of then me having to cover LeBron and constantly be talking about what he's doing and feeding into just the clickbait crap. And, it would have just been a wild dual thing I'd have to deal with. So kind of glad he's not coming. However, I do think that would have been a pretty good fit for the Nuggets just with what they need right now. But to me, it never made sense for LeBron other than his relationship with the owners. And that would have been kind of the long and the short of it if he did come here, in my opinion, was just that personal relationship with him and the agent and everything like that. So not surprised with how it's unfolding.
What about, okay, so like, were we ever in the Giannis sweepstakes to get Giannis?
I mean, I would say technically, I don't think there was a lot of validity to that just because of what the Nuggets can offer. Like, we look at what they got in return from Miami Heat. That's a no-brainer trade. I mean, that was fantastic trade for them. They got like 3 really promising players. Tyler Hero is still a pretty young guy. And then Khalil Ware, I think people are going to be very surprised with his overall ability, especially next season when there's no pressure on his shoulders and he's getting extended minutes to play. He's going to show a lot of people that he is very good at basketball. And then same with Jaime. He is also a very talented ball player. So I was surprised they gave all those guys up, because those are like future players that can be in the league. Both those guys are still very young and came and produced right away. They jumped in the league and produced immediately. So I was kind of shocked, but at the same time, like, if you're Miami's a crazy market. That's a really, really good demographic to have. And you throw Giannis into the mix, if they can just potentially get LeBron, which I think there's a lot of sustainability there and just substantiated claims going through that. So who knows? I think it was definitely a good move for them.
Well, I heard that the owner or somebody doesn't like LeBron, or not like they just
seems to be the case everywhere he's gone.
Who's the other guy? Oh my God,
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley was the one that LeBron.
Pat Riley's a very in charge guy too, so I'm not surprised. So
I think he's probably going to go back to Miami.
I think it would make the most sense, because that is a really glaring positional need for them at the moment. And then we're just going
to beat them again in the final.
That would be fantastic. That would be crazy. I think if he goes there, though, they are going to be the team to beat 100%.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's going to be really hard for anyone, especially coming out of the East. Like, they're going to be fired up. Right. They're going to be really fired up coming out of the East. I think that's going to be a pretty fantastic team if he goes there. But the East got better. I mean, we got Philly, we got the Knicks, Celtics are coming back. There's a lot of pieces in play, so it'll be interesting to see how
I'm just going to ask you the big question.
Ask me.
Do the Denver Nuggets have a chance to win a championship again? Now, we have this Nikola Jokić window. best player in the world, dominating on all cylinders.
Definitely best Nugget ever.
One of the best players ever.
One of the best.
Thank you.
Top 10. I mean, unquestionable.
Well, can we get
You
the
think we
fitted
still have a
nuggets? Do you
chance?
think we still have a chance?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, with somebody like Nikola Jokić who can just affect a game at so many levels, 100%. The chance is there. And the team that they brought forth last season was a good team. I know a lot of people have some issues with that. Injuries are to be taken into account while they're not a full excuse. But for them to win it, one of many as games they did, especially with a large chunk of them not being with Nikola Jokić, them having a rough return when Nikola Jokić came back, and then to end the season on a 12-game win streak, there was a lot of evidence to support the team was cohesive. They figured out how to play, and then they were just derailed in the playoffs. Timberwolves came in and punched them on the nose, and they didn't know what to do. I mean, that's just flat out what happened. And so I think that if they make some changes to bolster leadership and decision-making, I think that that is going to be a key component to next season, because to Nikola Jokic's credit, he's not the coach of the team. While he can help and he can support, and we tend to expect that from players at his level, and he's proven to do that in the past, it isn't on his shoulders as much as it is the coaching staff. And so I would look for the coaching staff to add a veteran coach to help David Adelman if they are indeed going to side with him, which they've already stated they're going to.
Okay.
So I think that that's going to be a big part of next season, and then they're definitely going to still have to make a move or two to end this year. We've got some big question marks still on the board. With some pretty major players for the Nuggets.
Do you think the Nuggets are going to bring in some more bigger guys, or are they still? I mean, so before you answer that question, they just brought in Alpha Diallo, and he's a Denver Public School alumni, West High School, Lincoln High School.
Yes, sir.
That's kind of special for Denver Foos because we love our homegrown guys that played here. Like the Philip Lindsays, shout out
Chauncey
Billups.
Shout out to Married with Drinks, Lenny Salazar. He was one of his coaches back in the day.
Oh,
West
no
High
way.
School.
Yeah. Big shout out. That's cool. I didn't know that. But
we're excited to see one of our homegrown talents come back.
Yeah, Alpha's going to bring a lot of energy to the team. I'm really excited about that signing for what they have, which is nothing. I mean, that's realistically, they have vet minimums or minimum contracts, and that is not exactly a lot to deal with. You're basically pleading and trying to convince people that, hey, we're the guy, or give new people opportunities like Alpha. So Alpha's been trying to come to the NBA, and it's really exciting. He was Eurobasket Defensive Player of the Year last year, and he shot 37% from three. Now, he wasn't necessarily a big-time scorer, but that wasn't really the Nuggets' issue last season. It was more so stopping it on the other end. So while Nuggets fans could get a little nervous, I like the 37% from three. You also have to imagine that in the EuroLeague, A, they tend to play a little bit more aggressive, and B, those players are kind of at the higher tier of this. This is going to be a guy who's essentially the fifth man on offense majority of the time that he's on the court. So he can be a sneaky threat from three, in my opinion. I think that's what we're going to see from him on the offensive side, and then just pure defense on the other end, just being a dog, getting in the other team's best players' face, Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards. He's got that strength to him. So that's what I'm most excited about that signing. So they're definitely trying to address things in a creative way. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest play out. The Alpha signing was one of the positives of this offseason.
That's amazing. Like you said, there's still a lot. I mean, Jokić, they still got to kind of tie up his contract and extend him, or where is he at? Where are the Nuggets at?
Yeah,
as far as
it's a precarious situation that they're in right now, because essentially the team has been offering him extensions every offseason. That's been something that is technically vocal from the front office, even though they said, we can't talk about it. They just voiced that we want to make sure he signs an extension, essentially. So we know that much coming from them specifically. And so from there, we have to just look at what he said. So Jokić has consistently stated that he wants to be a Denver Nugget for life. I believe that. I have no doubts in my mind. This guy is not somebody who wants to move him and his family to go somewhere else. Right. I think if that did happen, I think he'd still have a house here. I just don't think with how embedded his kids are and he is, it just doesn't make sense for him to do that. So personally, just that combined with his own words, I'm not worried. I don't think he's going anywhere. Now, I think the thing that we need to consider that is a possibility is that he could retire. because this is a guy who, is laughably and infamous for but kind of displaying disinterest in being famous and being kind of the face of the league and being on camera, and he just wants to play basketball and see his horses. We all know about the see his horses part. So kind of scares me, because that is something that could happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I would not be surprised if he's like, I've made enough money, I've got everything I need, I'm gonna ride off into the sunset. It's like, we're not gonna win again, so I'm gonna ride off into the sunset. So that is something to consider. However, he most recently stated that he does want to sign with the Denver Nuggets for an extension. He said that in an interview in Switzerland during the Serbian FIBA game. So that was a really big thing for me, because that, to me, was the first time I heard him specifically say sign, because that was, in my opinion, something he has avoided in particular. He has avoided that verbiage up until that point. So that was a huge plus for me, because somebody like Nikola is not someone who's just going to say things. Like, I really do trust his word.
Everything he says is intentional. He's very intentional.
Yes, exactly. And he's not here to play mind games. He's here to be himself and just, do his job and now hopefully re-sign with the Nuggets. So that's going to be a really big stress factor going into the offseason next year. But I'm confident that he will return as a Denver Nugget, and we'll see him for another 5 years. And then who knows after that. But I think that's what to expect next year.
Yes. So what do you think the Nuggets need this offseason? Besides extending Joker, what pieces? It seems like they're gonna run it back.
Yes, I mean, that exact phrase is something Josh Kroenke said probably 4 or 5 times in the post-game press conferences last season. Right after the end of the year, they brought us all into the media room, and they had this postseason press conference with the coaching staff, the GMs, and Josh. And he said the phrase, run it back, a bunch. He said it a bunch. And so right then and there, I kind of knew, okay, we're not making any trades. Unless somebody is just being dumb, like the Wizards. Yeah, but literally, no CB, no Cam Johnson. Unless they get a really nice offer, to me, that's kind of what that meant early on. So I don't really expect anything to happen on that front as much. But as far as what they need at this point in time is really, they have to figure out their bench. That, to me, has always been a huge factor for them. Their starting lineup gets the job done. I like the starting lineup, even with Christian Brown in there. And I know a lot of people have kind of turned on him this season, but guys, you have to understand, this is a good basketball player. He led the league in fast break points the season before. He's just an overall good fit for the team. He's strong as hell. He's dunking over people. He had a bad playoff series. It's going to happen sometimes. He came off an injury. He didn't get a chance to get his confidence back, and that just kind of played in and bled into the playoffs. Nobody played well in the playoffs. So while I understand the contract looks big, I expect a big bounce-back season from him, and I think what's going to motivate that is more than likely they're going to re-sign Peyton Watson, move him into the starting lineup, into Christian Brown's position, move Christian Brown to the bench unit, and then Christian Brown's then going to have to prove himself all over again, essentially. And I think that's what he needs, a little bit of that kind of motivation, that underdog mentality, So I think that'll be a really good thing for him next season. So I imagine that both of them will kind of go in and out, maybe even Cam Johnson coming in and out. But that starting lineup's deadly. So if they could just get some good people for the bench, and I have some thoughts on that, that's going to be the biggest thing. They just need some offense off the bench. It's ball handling. And they re-signed Tyus Jones, which technically that's ball handling. So, it depends on how they want to utilize him. But, I would probably recommend another true point guard of some kind. But I have some thoughts on that depending upon how you want to take the conversation.
Right. Well, I want to ask you about our if this was hockey, it'd be like the co-captain maybe?
Sure.
Jamal Murray?
Yeah. What about him?
He was an all-star for the first time last year.
Yeah.
Very well deserving. I mean, I think he should have been an all-star since the freaking bubble, or that season, or around even that timeline, even before he got hurt, or even the season we won the championship. There's just so many guards. It's political. We get it. NBA, East Coast bias. So many things we can go on and on and on about. But Jamal Murray, the expectations for him this upcoming season, I feel like the water of the Nuggets Nation, it's like we love him. We love Jamal. Jamal's our guy. But I feel like me personally, I feel like he hasn't been living up to his expectations in the last couple seasons since the championship. And with, we don't know what people are battling with on and off the court. and injuries and all that. You know, these guys, they're so tough, and they play through a lot of stuff that they don't tell to the public or a lot of different people and stuff. What are the expectations for Jamal Murray coming up this next season?
Yeah, you know, just kind of talk about last year. I think that I would disagree with you, honestly. I felt like last year he really came to play. You know, one of the big things that I felt like I accomplished last season was predicting Jamal Murray was going to be an all-star. I predicted that after seeing him at media day. And I predicted his exact stat line that he produced, actually. So to me, I literally was like, he's going to be 25-5 next year, and he's going to be an all-star. I had so many people who were like, no, he's not. No, he's not. He's not. And even leading up to it, they were still telling me I'm wrong. And then it was like, well, look who was right.
You're not wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah, I'm wrong. Trump being wrong. So, you know, I think last year was like him really living up to his contract potential. Because when you realistically look at who can produce at the level that he did last season, which was 25 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 7 assists per game, that's really high-level basketball. And he was actually one of the most healthy players on the team. Yeah. So big shout out to Jamal. I know the playoffs were hard.
I love Jamal. But like, we got a comment coming in. Somebody said we should have included Jamal in the Jaylen Brown sweeps. Like I said, Nuggets Nation, it's 50-50 on how they feel about him.
I understand, but like you were essentially just going to get kind of the same player who may or may not have played better. And realistically, I'm sure Jaylen Brown technically would have been better, but the other things that would have been required to make that trade happen would not have outweighed that overall trade. So, yeah, realistically, if we could have gotten Jaylen Brown straight up for Jamal Murray, yeah, that's probably the right move for the defensive addition, you know, that he would have brought. But overall, in my opinion, Jamal Murray played his butt off last season, and he deserves some recognition and credit for that. In the playoffs, again, everyone was playing down in the playoffs. They were not playing well, and he was still somebody who got us a few of those games. So, you know, I'm big on keeping Jamal, especially because you have to think strategically about, okay, if you don't want him, realistically, how are we going to get rid of him and who are we going to get in return? And the market, it's just not a lot there. It's just not a lot of options that would make sense. So the Nuggets are better keeping him, especially a career guy with Nikola Jokić. You want to keep that chemistry intact. And it was great seeing him supporting Team Serbia.
We have a comment off of YouTube. One of our folks tuning in live, Marshall_Warpath 8695. They said Ron Stradamus predicts the future, as you predicted that Jamal would become an all-star, stat line, everything like that. So what do you predict for him his season coming up?
You know, I would just love to see him do kind of more of the same. I think he really got some confidence in him. He put in the work this offseason last year, and I think that was the big difference maker is he came game ready on day one. And so I expect that now that he's seen success from that he would do the same thing next year. You guys can't forget that this is a child of military people. And so this is someone who is very disciplined, and he's someone who's going to put work into his craft. And so I expect, you know, pretty much the same, if not better, from Jamal next year. Jamal, to me, is not really where the issues currently lie for the Denver Nuggets.
No. Also from shout out to Marshall. With Big V leaving, who will back up Nikola Jokić?
Yeah. So, you know, just before I answer that question, I do like to share this, but, you know, Valanciunas, big shout out to him, man. One of the nicest guys I've met. And especially when you're in the media room and, like, you're with all these players, you're shoulder to shoulder with these guys all the time. And he always went out of his way to, like, acknowledge me and, like, say hi and, like, you know, dap me up or just something quick. But he went out of his way to do it all the time. And it just really meant a lot to me personally, and not everyone's like that. And so it was really cool to see that from Val, and he was just always in such a good mood, always joking around with the team. And I'm really bummed he's not returning, but you know, we all kind of saw that coming, you know, with it being a team option. It just makes sense. It's one of the parts of the business that no one likes. You get involved with these guys, and you got to see him shipped elsewhere, like Tim Hardaway. You know, it's a business decision. It made the most sense for him and his family. And so just happy for Val. He gets to go back home to his home country, Lithuania.
Yeah.
Do 2 years over there, and I know he's going to be really happy.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, to back up Nikola Jokić, arguably one of the best NBA players ever.
Right.
One of the best centers or the best center. That's kind of always been kind of our kryptonite in a sense.
Yeah, but I really like this Marvin Bagley signing. I think this is kind of one of the better players to do. This is how they can get strategic this offseason. This is a guy, former number 2 overall pick. He's been in the league a decent amount of time, but he's still on the younger side when it comes to a veteran. And this is someone looking to prove himself. This is the perfect kind of guy to bring in for a 1-year deal because he is going to be playing not only for money, but for his career. If he doesn't play well in Denver, who knows where he's headed next? And this is somebody who can play the center position, the power forward position. He's much more mobile. And so we're going to really look to see him provide that rim protection throughout the year. And I expect to see him kind of floating around 10 points per game. I really do think Marvin's capable of that. And now that he's actually on a good team, he started out with the Kings. He went to the Wizards. I mean, he's been on some really tough teams to produce on if you're not that kind of player. And him getting to be more of a secondary player and kind of, be more cutting to the basket and just protecting the rim, keeping it simple, that's going to help him shine and play well. So I'm really excited about this signing. And then shout out to Deron Holmes. Big shout out to Deron Holmes, actually. Fun fact, first active player to follow me on Instagram. Big shout out to Deron.
There you go.
We interviewed him at Summer League practice, and he dropped us a follow. So thanks, Holmes. I really appreciated that. But I think he's ready too. And if the Nuggets don't give him early rotation minutes, that's going to be a mistake in my opinion because he is mobile, he is agile, he can move the ball, he can dribble the ball, and he can shoot. So this is somebody who I really think needs to be in the rotation early on, and we need to see Adam and trust him. So those two guys combined, I think, can get the job done of backing them up. Both standing at 6'11", too, which gives them some decent spread on size.
Right.
Great point.
I think there's still so much that could happen from now, whoever we pick up and sign and all that. And I'm confident in Kroenke. I'm confident in the organization. That
Chief Culture Officer, Josh Kroenke.
I'm confident in them that they know what they're doing. I mean, they build championships, whether it's the Rams, whether it's the Avs, whether it's
true.
And we've been competitive for quite a while. What's up? Go ahead.
Shout out to one of our biggest sponsors. It's tuned in, DTF Xpress. They take care of all our merch.
Wow. They made that? That's awesome.
We can't not give you something in return.
Oh, no way.
This is exclusive.
This is exclusive as well.
Exclusive merch.
This is only for people that come on
the podcast. Denver Foos podcast.
This is my favorite Denver Foos shirt now.
Yeah.
These are not available. Cool. These aren't available for
sale
sale
I can just wear this around town and they'll just let me into things.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Like, you get in. This is awesome.
Key to
Thank
the city, baby.
Yeah, right.
Shout out to DTF Xpress. Make sure you guys hit them up for all your needs, whether it's DTF, banners, signs, embroidery. They do it all. I promise you. And they're fast, they're quick, they're literally the best in the business.
Yeah, I mean that's
Truly.
a really high quality shirt. I'm excited. That's really cool. Thank you guys. I appreciate that.
We had some more comments on YouTube. Shout out to the real Dan Chav. He's like, you guys are crushing as we are running it back. Do we really believe we could go head to head with OKC and San Antonio?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. So I think the key to that is really going to be some of these free agent signings. So, we've gotten some young talent in. We got Julian Strother loading. I think he's going to be a good offensive weapon off the bench. This is the year to utilize him. Yeah. Again, kind of be disappointed if we don't see early consistent rotation minutes for Julian Strother. But there's a lot of good free agents still available. And good can be a loose term. But in my opinion, for what we can pay, they are good players. So, I mean, you look at them and they're all kind of older guys. But
I think, and then like you said, we have a lot of youth on our bench.
Yeah.
And I think that's honestly in the early days of Nikola and Jamal's era, we had a lot of young guys off the bench, like a Beasley, like coming off with that energy, hungry. And that's how we were beating teams and we made the playoffs and we were making playoffs. And
Beasley also got beat up by a Broncos player. No, I'm just kidding.
That's why we got rid of him.
No,
just kidding. No, but you know what I mean? I think in those earlier Nikola, Jamal Murray days, we had a lot of youth on our squads, and that was sustaining us to be able to come back in those 3-1 games in the bubble and all. Yeah. And I think that's kind of what we've been lacking because they kind of stuck with the core, which,
they've aged.
They're aging.
They aged, so they got to get
and it's a young league. San Antonio, OKC, those guys are all young. We're the OGs now. The Nuggets are the OGs now. They're the veterans in the league.
Well, on top of the Knicks, they were giving us trouble all year, right?
Yeah, well, to say the least. Yeah. So fun story about the Knicks. So we lost by 54, last season.
Yeah.
Worst game of the year. Nuggets at an all-time low for sure. And we're in the media room, right? Yeah. And we're there, and all of us are in there, and the wall that is behind like the people where they interview is shared with the locker room.
Oh,
so
shit.
It's the away team's locker room. So all we can hear, we can't hear anything. All we can hear is the song "Feel the Rain on Your Skin." And I don't know if you heard it.
Feel the rain on your skin.
Yeah.
No one gonna
so not exactly.
Right, I used to work at a kid's store at the Venetian in Vegas.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
That song all the time.
Yeah, but so that it is blasting. We can hear the lyrics. I've never heard that in my life. Like never. We can hear every single word, the whole song. And like even David Alderman, you can see this. He stops and goes like, "Good song, by the way." And we all kind of laugh. And then so immediately I'm like, I think I know whose playlist this is. Karl Anthony Towns. And then I go into the locker room because I do all the away team locker room interviews, and Towns is just in there being super zesty up a storm,
cat
with the accent and everything. And I don't care either way, like live your life. But I just thought it was kind of funny because that's been such a controversial conversation around the league. But that's him. That's his personality for sure. Because he did not care that we were in there, and he was just chatting all his teammates up that way. And wow. I don't know. I just thought it was one of those funny moments where it's like, oh, okay, like that's you for real then.
Right. Well, shit. See, that's the kind of stuff, the camaraderie of a team, of a championship team, for the people to be themselves in the locker room, behind the scenes. So you're a big stat guy.
Yeah.
We're big fan facts guys. We're big guys. We're like, oh, it's because of this. It's like maybe conspiracy type stuff, but it's like, well, there's glue guys, like, there's certain people, there's certain things that can't be measured on the stats sometimes that are factors to winning a championship, keeping a team together, the chemistry on and in the locker rooms and all that stuff. So, something like that, like where a cat is able to just feel the rain under his skin after a fucking win over, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just that comfortability to be like that.
He could be as zesty as he wants to now.
Well, I mean, they won a championship, so big shout out to them. They figured it out.
Them.
Not easy to do.
That was awesome. I was rooting for them.
Yeah, it was cool.
Did not want to see
longer than the Nuggets waited. Fun fact, which is crazy. And they won before, but the period in between the wins was longer than it was 47 years for the Nuggets. So
and look
crazy.
how proud New Yorkers are.
It was fun.
Teams.
It was good for the league.
At least
that was
we
really
won
good
the first time we went.
Yeah. The Broncos, we lost
1-0.
We lost 5. The Broncos lost 5 Super Bowls.
Dang.
It took 5 Super Bowls.
That would be painful. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine how it would be with the internet nowadays. They'd be terrible.
John Elway probably would have left
on the way here. Okay, so back in the day, we obviously grew up Bronco fans, right?
Right.
So here, with all the losses with Elway, we were just reminiscing. When we would go to school, we would get made fun of here, wearing a Broncos jersey.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, man, come on.
The kids would say, the Broncos suck. Why are you wearing that jersey?
Who are you cheering for?
They like the Cowboys. They're like,
it was like abuse, though.
Yeah.
Right now, we're like almost in tears because it was like bullying.
Yeah.
So like that's
especially as kids.
That's how it was before we won the back.
Right. And so now it's timeless. But that just shows you how big a championship is, because like, oh, we may suck, but we're champions.
It changes.
We won a championship.
Yeah,
we won a lot
once
of
you get that,
championships.
I mean, ask the New York. I mean, when we were in Indiana for that All-Star game, Indiana is such a beautiful, awesome basketball town.
It is.
And they have so much appreciation for basketball.
Even people that don't know very much know more than most people.
Yeah. Oh, they're serious about it, especially about the Pacers or their local team. They're tapped
I was surprised to hear some people would say, I don't really pay attention too much to the NBA, but Nikola Jokić is the guy.
Right.
When we were out there with you.
Yeah, that was like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, this town knows ball.
And and just the admiration for like us winning a championship.
Right.
Just their curiosity. What was that like? You guys won that. Like, just the appreciation for winning a championship.
And Indy's just so similar to Denver, like the downtown and the energy and kind of the vibe. And like Denver is obviously more different because of the nature aspect of it all. But, it's just a metro space, and even like kind of the size of the market is pretty similar. So, that was kind of what the Indy wanted to feel. And they got a little taste of that, last season. But couldn't make it happen. I think there's some controversy surrounding that. But man, I think everybody was. That was heartbreaking to watch them lose.
For Bobby.
For me too. That's still my second favorite.
Shout out to
team.
Bobby, baby.
Oh, man.
Yeah, shout out to Bobo.
If he was plastered all over the city, what's his name?
Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah. We were rooting for them.
The Halliburton.
Heavy rooting. If he wouldn't have got hurt, they would have won that game.
Yeah. No, I think so.
They would have won that game.
He just had it, man. That's just the player. It's like Jalen Brunson was this year. No matter how good you play, Jalen Brunson wants to win the game more than you do. And that's what it came down to every game. I mean, that's really what it did.
We could just talk we're already at 56 minutes.
Oh, man. We can go all day.
So we're going to do a little rapid fire, have a little fun with the Fitted Nuggets fan from Beyond Sports. I'm just going to ask you questions, and then you got like 5, 10, 20 seconds to answer.
Okay. Do 24. Let's do a shot clock.
Yeah.
For a question?
Or just try rapid fire. Well,
all right.
First it comes up to you.
Right.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Favorite Denver athlete ever?
Definitely Jokić or Peyton Manning. I love both those guys. And, Manning gone back and forth. So, you pick one, but both of them.
Pepsi Center or Ball Arena?
McNichols.
Okay. Jokić or Carmelo?
Oh, I mean Jokić for sure. Melo kind of did him dirty and hasn't really come back to the city since. So, I mean, we'll see how Jokić retires, but he got a championship. So, easy.
Nuggets championship or Broncos Super Bowl?
Nuggets championship for sure. I mean, just one singular championship. Plus, I was at it. That meant a lot to me. So, that definitely.
Favorite sports movie?
Oh, that's a good one. Space Jam. I love that movie.
Those are coming back out. Too.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, they are.
Favorite local restaurant?
Favorite local restaurant. I'd have to say Hickory House down in Parker. I love barbecue sauce. Yeah, you guys, we got to take you down there. But they are just amazing barbecue. If you haven't gone, that's the spot. It's good every single time.
Hickory, if you're tuning in, give us the experience.
Yeah, Hickory House. Have us out. We'll do the podcast.
There you go.
One word to describe Denver sports fans.
Intense. I think every fan base is like this, but they're very wishy-washy, and they have high emotions about everything that happens. And not everyone is like this, but, the general consensus seems to be intense reactions to things that happen,
A dream courtside guest with the Fitted Nuggets fan. Who would you like to be courtside watching a game with?
Oh, man. Wow. That's a really good question. A few names come to mind. Mark Cuban. I think it would be a really good one just because I'd learn a lot from him. And he's just had a lot of success within the sports realm and like just so many different avenues of business. And I think, his personality may be back and forth. I just like him. And I think
Shark Tank on court.
But he'd be ready to go.
The Fitted Nugget fan and Mark Cuban.
But he would be able to like tell me a lot of things, and he would know what I'd want to know, and he'd be sharp, and we could get a lot done in a game, because those go by quick, especially when you're hanging out with people. But from a fan experience, Larry David, I think that'd be fun. I think it'd actually probably be miserable, and he probably would be too. But, I think it would be funny just to hang out with somebody like that at the game.
And then last one, it doesn't matter if it's a restaurant, a view, a concert venue, anything. Favorite Colorado gym?
Jam?
Gym, like just
gym.
Something that like
like gym. I was thinking like, to work out. Yeah. Kind of a specific question.
Planet Fitness.
Man. They don't have basketball courts. I don't go there.
Not gym.
Yeah. I got you. No, yeah, I got you. Man, that's a good question too. There's a couple spots that come to mind. One in particular is El Dorado Springs. Okay. Kind of in the northwest area of Denver. It's one of the few places that you can go to quickly that you just feel like you're in somewhere completely 4 or 5 hours away from Denver. It's just beautiful. There's like waterfalls. There's just these crazy cliff sides with rock climbers on them, and you can walk up, and it's literally like a state park. You just roll in. And so I really like El Dorado Springs. That's a big one for me. It's just easy. I don't like to drive too far, so that one's good. And then down south, there's a restaurant called Zuko's. Shout out Zuko's. This is a super off the beaten path place, like on your way to Rainbow Falls and Turkey Track. Shout out those. If you guys know them, you know them. But those are big off-roading and like dispersed shooting ranges down south. So very Coloradan activities.
You nailed this question.
So I love that. But
That's
Zuko's
awesome.
is really cool. It's in this really like random, like kind of like trailer park community type thing. And the food's really good. They make everything in-house, all the sauces, everything. So I always eat there when I'm on my way down there. And it's just one of those, like, I know it and not a lot of people know it type spots. So I love it.
Nice. Before we go, I still got like 4 more questions for you.
As many as you want, man.
So what advice could you give to aspiring content creators like yourself? Maybe they want to get in the sports media world. They want to be in the sports media content creation. What advice? I mean, you said some great gems earlier in the podcast, but what advice could you give up and coming sports content creators?
Yeah, you know, I get this question a lot because, you know, without having the background in it and now being in media rooms, it's a big transition, especially just a handful of years and running divisions. I ran the basketball, all the basketball content for Guerrilla Sports here locally all season, and I got to be director over there. So just having those types of experiences was crazy. But as far as advice goes, you know, my biggest thing would just be get connected to your community. Get to know the market of which you're trying to be involved in. The more content creators that you know and you can learn from and you can associate with, the better you're going to get at your own content and just the more things that you can be involved in. A lot of times, you know, you guys were always really good about that. When I started out was just, hey, we're going to do this thing. You want to come? And then we get some cool behind the scenes access and, you know, just open up doors. You meet new people. So get out there and meet people. That's the biggest thing. Don't be afraid to, because I didn't do it with anybody. I mean, I had my brother here and there, but for the most part, I was a big driver for it. And so I wasn't afraid. I was like, I'm going to things solo and I'm meeting people solo and just, you know, being nice, and networking is a big one. And then, just not being afraid to put the work in. I think to me, that's kind of the biggest indicator early on of whether a content creator is going to make it. And you can ramp up to those kind of things, but the sooner you commit and the sooner you just put things out there and the more you put things out there, that's where it is. That's where the views are. That's where the follows are. And you can't be afraid to put stuff out there. Right. And your biggest goal is just to refine the craft and try to be as efficient as possible. You know, try to manage your time so it's not eating up your life and taking over everything else.
Definitely. I mean, you literally led to my next question about, you know, like you said, just being active in the community and like, you know, just getting it out there, putting yourself out there. How important is building community over chasing followers? Yeah. Because, you know, as a content creator, we get stuck on the numbers. We're like, oh shit, we're almost to this amount. We're almost to this. And it could become a thing where you're looking at it. But then when you do engage with the community and then the followers just kind of come naturally. Yeah. How important is it to engage with the community as you've done from the beginning of time with your giveaways and all that? How important is that over chasing followers? Yeah, you know, I think there's a lot that has to be said with that. I think there's a bit of a balance with that, though, too. Like, while being authentic is primary, that's the number one thing, because fans aren't dumb. People like to think fans are dumb. The collective can be dumb, but the individual is smart, and you have to remember that, because they're going to try to figure out and validate you as a person. And so the more authentic you are, the more they can recognize that. Because if you're faking it, or if you're not being authentic and, you know, it's just not true, unless you're really good at that, you have to be really good at that. Because there are some people who operate that way and they're really good at it. But the more authentic you are, again, it's just going to respond to your audience. And so the other side of that coin, though, is you have to understand what attracts your followers. You have to understand the production quality you're going for. You want to learn some things along the way too. So while it's super important to remain authentic, you keep the authenticity, but upgrade your content and try to kind of narrow your content to what your followers want to see, and not being afraid to put stuff out there. If you want to try something else out that's new, just throw it out there. You know, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't perform well. It's not going to hurt you in the long run, and it's just an ego thing, and that's something I battle with all the time. You know, we all get wrapped up in it. Once you become a content creator, it becomes a really big part of what we do. Especially when you start having an audience and you have people voicing their opinions on your content. And when you're in the space where you're creating content to please your followers and your supporters, and then it's about filtering out like the negative and there's the true people that really support you, and then there's always just kind of the haters that they're always going to have something negative to say, and it's always like filtering that. How do you filter that, like, and how do you let that dictate your content? Like, say you try something new and then, or just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, I could probably do a better job of fully ignoring people, but I would say that they don't necessarily get to me, but I will get into arguments sometimes, and I think that's just natural. But it comes more from like a place of
passion,
me presenting, like facts, and you know, honestly, during the season, especially, the way I stay sharp is arguing with people online, because that forces me to look things up and prove my point. So that's actually a practice of mine, not so much on my own posts, but more so with like comments I'll make online or comments other people will make online. And I'll challenge the ideology and continue to push that envelope. And, you know, sometimes it'll get personal, whatever, but I'm happy in my life. So it doesn't really get to me. It's like I'm checking all the boxes, man. I don't know about you, but nothing you can say is gonna make me upset.
Saying stuff like, you have a lumpy butt.
I had some guy who said I was going bald. He's like, "You're going bald," and I'm like, "Yeah, I am." That's a fact of life.
I'm a man.
Yeah.
Once they start attacking your personal things like that, that's when you know
you won. You won.
Exactly.
But that conversation won't end there sometimes.
Right. I know.
But you know, for the most part, I try to just be confident in my own self, you know, and at this point you feel a little more validated in your position. So I kind of try to hold some of that weight. I throw some of that weight around sometimes, and I should probably try to avoid doing that, trying to play rank and stuff like that. But, you know, overall, I really try to do it specifically to stay sharp in basketball conversations and make sure I have my facts straight, because Jokić could be averaging 28 points per game right now, but 2 weeks later that might change. It might be 28.1, 28.2. His rebounds might be different. So like staying on top of the facts at the most current level is how I stay sharp for my shows. Cool. And I can talk like I've talked with you guys today, because I'm looking these facts up all the time.
ESPN, put my guy on. Pardon the interruption and all them other debate
I love
shows.
that. I don't know if I'm aggressive enough. I'd probably have to turn it up a notch, but I think those guys would upset me enough to get me all worked up, you know, so I can argue with them a little bit.
All right, two more questions before we sign off and wrap it up. So Beyond Sports, you've created your own brand. It's been Beyond Sports since what?
The Mile High days. That was the start of that.
Beyond Sports with the Fitted Nuggets fan. I still have the banner. We're going to pop it back out. We have the Beyond Sports on the back.
Collector's edition.
Tell us about what do you guys have coming up next Beyond Sports? What's coming up next for you? Like I wish we had more time.
All right.
But we got some amazing stuff coming up. We've got a brand new show. Really excited for this show. A lot of people are actually, you guys are going to know who this host is. It's actually Tatiana Linares. She is joining the network of Beyond Sports 5280. So we're really excited for that. Got her own studio space down in our studio. So we've created a whole new stage for her. And she is going to be bringing you kind of more of the raw energy that surrounds Nuggets fans. So a lot of you guys know her from Twitter, Instagram, things like that. She always has really good things to bring to the table when it comes to like sports in general, and specifically the Denver Nuggets. She went to all 41 games last year. So this is a homegrown fan who knows her stuff, who knows how the fans feel. And the way I'm super analytical, she's going to have some of that, but she's going to bring more of just that raw fan passion. Emotion, the passion that surrounds it. So I'm super excited for her to be on our platform. She's going to absolutely crush it. So be looking out. We're going to be showing her clips all year long. And she's going to be helping us out in all kinds of different ways, potentially some media as well. So really excited about that. And also super excited to welcome Gianna Girardi as well. She's going to be our in-game correspondent alongside myself. So we're still going to be calling games for Beyond Sports 5280 next season. So we're really excited about that. She was super fun to work with last year with Guerrilla Sports. And I'm really excited to have the opportunity to work with her again through Beyond Sports 5280. So some really big names coming to the table from us. So a lot of names that you guys will recognize. So really excited to have them a part of what we're doing here. And we also have a really big event coming up at the beginning of August 8th, called the Stone Fest. We're doing a big Stone Classics. Basically, Stevie Stone, a good friend of mine. Shout out Stevie. He is putting on this big event for us. And essentially it's going to be a 3-point contest. We're going to have a dunk contest, and we're going to do a 3-on-3 tournament as well.
Wow.
So there's some prizes to win.
Nice.
We're giving all kinds of stuff away. I'm doing giveaways that day. We've got some great sponsors, but the biggest thing is it is a backpack drive for our local community.
Nice.
So we're giving away backpacks for kids in need. We partnered with some local charities to help with those donations. So if you guys are interested in donating or getting involved, be sure to reach out to me on social media, and we can get you in. But we've got a number of great sponsors. Shout out Applebee's. They're going to be a big one. Basketball Social House is going to be hosting the event for us, and I'll be there along with Stevie. We'll be kind of curating your evening. But those are some of the big ones coming out of the gate.
Man.
And I Get Money as well is going to be there. Some of you guys know their basketball team, but Mario is going to be sponsoring some jerseys. So we're going to be giving away some jerseys to the participants, some shirts, trophies for winners. So there's all kinds of stuff. And there's no age limit for the 3-point contest as well. So we're doing a kids and adults version. So it's bring the whole family out. It's going to be a great time.
That sounds so awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a
We
blast.
have a fire engagement. I don't want to mention that event.
Sure.
But I wish we could be a part of that.
I know, it's bummed, but we'll get you involved next season. We've been doing this. This is our second annual event.
A lot of people have been hitting me up about the celebrity basketball game.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
We need to run that back.
Yeah, it's funny. I was literally Ty Lawson and I have actually kind of become friends over the years. Just being connected.
Could we get him in the game?
I was gonna say I might ask
or
Ty.
as a coach, maybe.
Yeah,
or
maybe as a
something,
coach. But Ty's trying to do some more stuff with the Denver community. Denver community's always showed him a lot of love. Big shout out to Ty Lawson. Go check out Lotta Wins. He's doing a Greece trip giveaway right now.
Yeah,
it's really cool. Literally, all you have to do is watch some ads, and you get free entries to this. And he's really giving away this Greece trip. Him and I have talked about it over the phone multiple times now.
Nice.
But big shout out to him. I think that would be a great face on the celebrity game. But man, we have so many cool celebrities here in Denver. Big shout out Brandon Royval, man.
Oh man,
just amazing performance at USC. Love to see
him
him back there. I remember when we were at the celebrity game.
Yeah,
before
ESPN
the fame,
was there.
ESPN
UFC,
was
they were
there.
there.
Everybody, man. I still talk to a lot of people. I met a lot of people at that event who I still talk to. So I'd love to run it back, man. Let's
do it.
to
run it back.
I don't think I was so into a UFC fight other than that
last
one.
fight.
It was intense.
It was crazy.
It was intense.
It's like every element of UFC.
He kicked some ass.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
But we have some really exciting stuff to bring you guys, man. So really excited for this summer. We're still working, still putting out content for y'all. Getting all the behind the scenes stuff. Beyond Sports 5280 has been invited to all the Beyond scenes. We were at the drafts. We were at the draft nights at Ball Arena, giving you guys firsthand coverage as fast as we could, speaking to ownership, and then getting to be at Summer League practice before they shipped out to Vegas. So we're getting you guys all the inside looks. So be sure to drop us a follow.
Definitely. So before we go, tell everyone where they can follow you, follow Beyond Sports, and stay tapped in with everything you got going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys can follow me at Fitted Nuggets Fan on all platforms. That's my name. And then Beyond Sports 5280 on all platforms as well. Beyond Sports 5280 actually just hit our 1,000th followers. So we're still getting started out, but we finally got that comma. So we're actually going to be doing a lot of giveaways this week to fans. So be looking out for that. Be sure to follow us because that's going to be a prerequisite to that. But we're giving away hats and jerseys and even a pair of sneakers. So we got some really cool stuff to give back to the community now that Beyond Sports is growing even bigger.
Hell yeah.
Right on. Well, without further ado, I want to thank Ron, the Fitted Nuggets fan, Taylor.
Thank
Have you ever
guys.
been referred as that?
Yeah.
Ron Taylor, the Fitted Nuggets.
Yeah.
What's
Ron,
the best way?
Fitted Nuggets fan.
Yeah,
Taylor.
Ron.
RTFNF.
Hey!
Yeah.
From Beyond Sports. Make sure you guys follow him. Follow Beyond Sports. Stay tapped in with everything that they got going on.
Best takes in the business.
Yes, sir.
Best. And we thank you guys for tuning in. That's going to do it here on the Denver Foos podcast. We'll be back tomorrow night. We got comedian Josh Emerson on the show. It's a show. This is a show. And make sure you guys come down to the River Bar. I mean, come catch us live.
Yes.
We're here live every single day, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. We thank you guys. Thank you again, Ron.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you guys.
Love you,
Appreciate
brother.
y'all, man.
Love
Love you
you
guys.
Y'all, good night.